Alright guys, BS Gaming, Black Stripe Gaming, BSG, whatever you want to call me, back with another Grand Cross video. Now, this video is going to be a tier list, but it's going to be different from how I usually do tier list. I think I'm going to follow this format for, I don't know for every single one, but definitely for this, right? So I picked units from the game, and I thought about the ones that are really, used a lot, frequently, I guess you could say, right? Frequently. They might not be the craziest unit ever, but they are used frequently. So that is kind of what this tier list is. And we got tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tier 0 being the absolute pinnacle of a unit. Like, you have to have this unit. And then tier 5 obviously being you could get buy the game without having it, but if you do have the unit, it's good. And then in the tiers between, I'll explain as we go along, but try and follow if you can. I do believe that this is going to be a little easier to follow than other tiers, but we shall see. So let me know down in the comments below if you followed this pretty clearly or not. I'm very curious because this is the first time that I'm doing this format. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first unit we have is Meliodas, new legend Meliodas. I actually would put new legend Meli. I think I would put him probably in tier 4. He's not bad by any means. He's he's a decent overall solid unit in the game. He does his job well. His job is to prevent the enemies from healing through their their recovery. He doesn't disable recovery skills, but he infects, so he does it very well. In AoE infects, he also can seal ultimate move gauge, so he's not bad. He has weak point. He's very solid, very solid. He also can steal the amount of ultimate move gauge orbs that an enemy has, so he's very solid, I would say. But if you don't have this unit, which many of you might not have him, right, he's very limited in terms of banners that he's featured on. You could get by the game not having him, but if you do have him and if you use him in PvP right now, I actually would say he might be decent. He might be decent as of the recording of this video, because the meta is a free meta. There's not really too much, like, I mean, you could say Bond is dead, like dominating, decimating PvP, but you could still use him. He's not bad because he can stop Bond from recovering, and then depending on the allies that you have, he'll be solid. So he's a very solid I would put him in tier 4. He is very in terms of overall units in the game, he's still very good. Estarossa probably go in the same tier as this new legend. I probably would put him above. It depends. Estarossa is good and all, but I don't think he's nearly as good as he was when he first dropped. He's not even close. When he first came out, he was a god. He was really strong. He had charge, single target, full counter, blackout, overall very solid kit. What makes him good is that his passive can be ran in the back, so you can use him as a sub slot unit with stance users. So that's what makes him very good. His full counter can be strong at rank 3. It's not the same as Chandler. Chandler is far and away one of the best units in the game, right? But this Estarossa had his time, and now he's died down. I do feel like within the next year or so, this Estarossa will be terrible. I feel like personally he might be terrible. He probably always will have a place on the defense team unless someone just outright replaces him, but for now I do feel like he will move down in the coming year or so, maybe even faster depending on the meta. But he had his time. I still think he's good, but he's just not over the top crazy. But he can be used in PvE as well, so he's great. Derieri, same thing with Derieri. I think red Derieri is in tier 4 as well. Derieri is actually very solid for Halix, right? The Crimson Demon raid. Otherwise, you're not using her too much besides Guild Boss. You can use her in Final Boss, some of them, but not many, because most of them are they have advantage over demons, so they have type advantage and race advantage over demons. So not really too many stages in Final Bosses that she can be ran in, but Guild Boss and Halix are definitely the two major areas that this Derieri is used in. So overall, if you're a new player, she is solid. You don't need her for much, but what you do need her for, she excels in. So she's very good. Green Derieri, I would argue she actually is in tier 3. because of how hard Belmoth is, it's not necessarily hard anymore, but for players who, you know, might not have, let's say, Green Gowther, you can use this Derieri, and if you have Zanari, you can run Zanari and Liz instead. Like, you can be the user, or you know, the player that doesn't have the Gowther but can still help out by healing and removing the buffs with Zanari. So you don't necessarily need Green Gowther. As long as your other teammate has Green Gowther, you should be fine. So I feel like Green Derieri has moved up above these 3 units simply because of you know, Belmoth. You could argue she's in tier 5. You can argue she's in tier 5, but I don't think that she is below anything other than tier 5. You know, like, I don't think you can say that she's not one of the stable units in the game now, because she is, right? She just is. So personally, I feel like she is in tier 3 because of the strat. She makes it a lot faster, one, and you know, she's overall gonna be useful for Belmoth in the coming months until we get a replacement for said team. So she's good. She's good. Lostvayne Melly, I would honestly put Lostvayne in tier, I think tier 1 is fine. I honestly think Lostvayne is good in PvE more than he is in PvP. I think it's fine putting him here. There's nothing wrong with using him in PvE. PvP, he gets stomped, like, it's disgusting, but in PvE, he's still a god. Like, he is still really, really strong, right? It's just with the more, I guess you could say, with the more stages in PvE, like, you know, whatever they give us, let's say for the Big Bird example, you can't use Lostvayne, obviously. So if they keep giving us stuff like that, then he will go down, but he's still good. He is still really, really good. You know, provided he has a lot of support, he can one shot. Like, he is good. He is still good in PvE. Don't get it twisted, right? Don't get it twisted. You could say he's tier 2, but he is not below tier 2. No, I don't believe that. He is either tier 1 or tier 2. I don't think he's below or higher than tier 1 and below tier 2. So he's still good. Zanari is probably on the same tier as Derieri. I honestly, yeah, she has to be. Like, she has to be. I was gonna say you could argue that she's on tier 4, but she is one of the units that makes it a 3-turn clear. So keep that in mind. She is one of the units that makes it 3-turn. Red Zeldris, right? Red Zeldris is tier 5 for me. I feel like Red Zeldris is still one of the greater units in the game. Like, overall, he is decent, but he doesn't have too much relevancy in terms of the game. Like, there's other units that could do it better than him. All he really does is ult drain and his commandment. That's it. He doesn't really have too much going for him outside of that. Before, when he first dropped, he was one of the better units in the game. Like, I would argue he was like one of the top units in the game, but he has fallen down, obviously. I would put him in tier 5 for sure, but he is still a very solid unit, Then we got Zaratras. Zaratras is in tier 3 as well. You could argue he's in tier 2, but Zaratras is really good. You know, you can run him in the Gray Demon, you could run him in Belmoth. He is very strong. Nothing really to say about that other than he's still a really, really strong and staple unit. Green Shin probably would be at tier 4 for me. He's a good farming unit, but otherwise nothing too crazy about Green Shin, really. Besides farming, yeah, that's it. That's literally it. Green Shin is still like one of the better units in the game, though. Kyo is tier 1 for me still. Kyo's very good, not only in PvP, but in some PvE events he's really good. So he is still strong there. The ignites, the support that he gives, the damage that he can deal with the ignites is just overall very strong combo. They did a really good job with him, by the way. Very good job with Kyo when they made him. So Kyo's still tier 1 in my opinion, one of the better units in the game. You know, if you have him, good, work on him, he's great, really good. Then we got Green Gowther. You already know Green Gowther is one of the most important units in the game, one of the best units in the game, tier 0 for sure. You gotta have him. Very good unit, very good unit. Goddess Elizabeth, I would say Goddess Elizabeth might be tier 1. A lot of people might say, oh, what are you talking about? She's tier 0. Like, she does what she does. She puts up a shield, she stuns, and but yeah. But nowadays, units that are coming out kind of like don't care about that. Like, let's be honest, like they just don't. Like, let's take a look right at the database. Let's take a look. We got, all right, let's take a look. We got a couple of units that just like stomp her out completely. Purgatory Bond, oh, has a rupture effect, right? Very, very strong. Then we got Blessing of Earth DN, who can literally take off the shield and reflection, which is really good. I was gonna say Chandler, but Chandler doesn't really do much. Derieri came out and she kind of cucks her stun, but that's about it. Oh, well, no, Derieri can remove buffs as well, though. I mean, there you go. The new Matrona that just came out, granted, she is a red unit. She can stop her, like, she can remove her buffs. So yeah, Amelia, like there's so many units nowadays that can stop Elizabeth. I don't think Elizabeth is as crazy as she once was. Like when I see Elizabeth in PvP, I don't get scared anymore. Like I'm not like, oh my god, Goddess Elizabeth. Nah, I'm like, okay, Goddess Elizabeth, sure, you know, she's gonna be a little bit of, you know, she could get the RNG of God and stop you every time, every turn, but that's not always the case anymore. That's really not always the case. So I would argue like she is better than Lostvayne. Like let me just put that out there. But I would say she honestly is at tier 1. I don't think, if you don't have her, it's not the end of the world, but if you do have her, you definitely should be working and investing in Goddess Elizabeth. She is good. Green Helbram, I feel like this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna sound insane, but I feel like he's either tier 4 or tier 5. I'm not saying he's the best unit in the game, but since Belmoth is out and some people still use the Jericho, Helbram, you know, Zarathustra, Helbram, and Gother strat, he is one of the most important units for that, you know, boss. So obviously he is going to be in this tier. You don't need him, but if you have him, you're gonna need him for Belmoth if you don't use the 3-turn strat. So he's you know, he's fine. Blue Droll, I think Blue Droll would be tier 2. I feel like that might be a little low, but I also feel like it's normal. Like I feel like it's justifiable putting Droll at tier 2. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. He's actually one unit where he could be higher. I feel like tier 1 or I feel like tier 2 is a happy medium for him. Like I feel like he's definitely above these units. So I feel like tier 2 is fine. Like I don't think it's anything. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's fine at tier 2. Same thing with this green Droll. Same exact thing, actually. The only thing about Droll is that he's good with Margaret, which could up his value. So let me know what you guys think. Green Droll is a really good unit. Just a really good unit. Ladosiel would put him at tier 2 easily. For Festival King, tier 1. Festival King is still really good. A lot of people don't give him enough credit, but he is a phenomenal unit, not only for farming Super Awakening coins, but anvils as well. He's really good. Really good unit. So Festival King is very good. He's still up there in my opinion. Let's see, Sario tier 0. You know what? I'm gonna put Sario at tier 1. I don't think tier 0 is where Sario should go. Tarmios at tier 1 as well. Tier 0 is for the units that are like, oh my god, you gotta have them, right? Or they basically are like really good units to the point where you kind of need them in PvP. Like you kind of need them in PvP. You don't need these two in PvP. Like you don't need them, but they are still very good in PvP and they do their job fine. The one, I would say the one, I would put him at tier 1. Is this too low? I feel like the one has counters to him now though. Like I do feel like the one has counters to him where it's like you don't have to really worry too much, but then again, he is good. All right, I'll put him at tier 0. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know there's still some Escanor, you know, stands that are like, he is God, he is, you know, like he is amazingly broken and stuff like that. So I'll keep him up in tier 0. I'll keep him up at tier 0. Let me know what you guys think about it though. Let me know. Arthur tier 3 for sure. I feel like Green Arthur is tier 3. Just a very overall good support for the team. Very good. Same thing with Liz. Liz is good for the Belmoth, but that's about it. Literally that's it. In Grey Demon, but you know what I mean, like not in too crazy, right? Blue Derieri, I would put her up at tier 2 because not only can she work with the big bird, she's also still a very good defensive unit in the game. So I'll give blue Derieri the props she deserves, and she can remove buffs, which is very big right now in the current meta. So I'll give her the respect that she deserves. So blue Derieri definitely up there. Assault melee tier 1, easily tier 1, easily one of the best units in the game, in my opinion. One of the best units in the game. Valentia would be at tier 2. I feel like tier 2 is fine because the units that are coming out nowadays have a lot of crit resistance. So I feel like tier 2 is fine. I don't think she's going to completely dominate anymore, but if you get her best situation, she's like easily top 5 easily with her best situation. So she's good. Red Easton, I would say tier 3. I can't say that she's like, is she? Man, I don't know. I feel like tier 4. I'm gonna leave her at tier 4. The only thing that she really does is clear debuffs for Bond, and she can also drain, but I feel like nothing else really is all that good about her. But I will say she's a very good option for Bond if you don't have, let's say, I don't know. I don't know. She's a good. I don't know. Does she deserve to be on this list? I don't know, man. Let me know. Maybe Red Easton doesn't deserve to be on this list. Merlin for me is tier 0 automatically. Doesn't matter. No. Like, she is tier 0. Like, Merlin is tier 0. She is phenomenal. She does her job well. And she's on one of the best teams in the game, the Unknown team. So she's really good. 11, tier 2. I would put 11 at tier 2 easily. Jim, tier 3. I think Jim at tier 3 is fine, right? I feel like that's a good rating for my boy Jim. Yeah, tier 3. Tier 3 is where he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay at tier 3. Amelia, boom. Yep. I don't know what to tell you. Amelia, I have found that Amelia is one of the best units in the game for PvP. She's crazy, yo. Like, she is insane. Like, she is actually cracked. Like, I don't know if they thought about what they did with Amelia when they made her. I don't know if they actually were using their brains, but I feel like Amelia might end up being a timeless unit. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's feeling like she is. Like, the same thing that goes with Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a timeless unit, regardless of her status right now. She's a timeless unit because of what she can do. Like, a lot of players are gonna be like, if they don't have another team besides the Glue Eater team, they're going to use this trifecta right here. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what era it is, unless we get over the top, broken, crazy, insane, like in year 4 units. Like, this is gonna be timeless as well. She's one of those units. She has to be. Like, Amelia's crazy. She's busted. Ram is at tier 1. I feel like, I don't think I can put her at tier 0, but tier 1 is where she's, where she's placed for me. In terms of all these, like, for the Unknown team, she's like almost irreplaceable. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if you're not running her on the back with the Unknown team, she's irreplaceable. Like, it's insane. It's actually crazy. Then we got Rem. Rem, I feel like, is in tier 2 as well. I think she's above. I think she's right here. She could even be right here, honestly. Yeah, she's really good. Like, she's really, really good. She's like a free-to-play version of Sario. Or, not a free-to-play. What am I talking about? Not a free-to-play version. She's like a alternate version of Sario and Derieri. Like, she's really, really good. Chandler, needless to say, is at tier 1. Festival Zeldris is also at tier 1 as well. Easily, these two are very, very good units. Red Arthur is at tier 1. Yeah, Red Arthur's at tier 1. Bond is with the Holy Relic. Bond is like tier Z. Like, he's like tier Z. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's insane. Bond is cracked. Bond is actually cracked. Blue, like, I could put him at tier 2. Like, I could see him being at tier 2 in his best situation, but honestly, he's kind of like at tier 3. We being real, like, he's honestly kind of at tier 3. even like, nah, yeah, you know what, he's at tier 4. When I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what does he really do? That he just ult rushes. Like, he literally just ult rushes. He's not a free to play friendly, but he is a more cheap option than Lostvayne. You could say he's better than Lostvayne, but I just feel like if you're not ult rushing like with him, you're not gonna use him as much. Like tier 4, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people might hate me for that. Let me know, is it fair to put him at tier 4 and not put him at tier 1 with this Meliodas? Let me know. I feel like it might not be fair. I'll leave him at tier 1, but I feel like he might be at tier 4 low-key. Let me know. Sigurd, easily tier 1. With the assault melee team, Sigurd goes crazy. I feel like that's reasonable placement. Tier 3 for Thonar, easily. Swimsuit Merlin, for now, I'm gonna leave at tier 2. For now, I'm gonna leave at tier 2. She's getting a lot more play with Festival Gother, which, by the way, Festival Gother is at tier 0. She's getting a lot more play with Festival Gother, but I don't know for sure. Like, I don't know for sure. But yeah, I feel like tier 2 for Swimsuit Merlin is fine. Margaret, tier 0, obviously. You guys already know. Margaret goes crazy. She's really, really, really good. One of the best units in the game, obviously. Strong as hell. Kusok, tier 1. Kusok is one of those units where a lot of people gave him shit, but I do feel like he's actually cracked. A lot of content creators have been using him, and he has not, for whatever reason, disappointed in any of the videos I've watched. He's always going crazy. So Kusok at tier 1 makes sense for me. You could put him lower if you hate him that much, but I feel like Kusok is good. He's fine. Like, I'm gonna put him right here. He's good. He's really good. I'm gonna put Chandler right here as well. Like, you could even put him over Zeldris if you wanted to. Deanne, tier 3, because she's only good in PvP. Literally only good in PvP. But she does counter Margaret, but sadly both her skills are single target, which makes sense because she would be busted if she had AoE skills. But I'm gonna put her right here because I feel like that's where she lives. Brynhild is easily tier 1 for me personally. I put her right in the middle. She's really good. She is really, really strong. I like her skill set. She can even be ran in PvP without a passive, which speaks volumes about her kit. Very strong. Red Gother. Did Red Gother move down? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be fair for that because Red Gother is really good. He's a really strong free-to-play friendly unit. I don't think it's fair to move him down to tier 2 just yet. In PvP, if you asked me personally, I feel like he is tier 2. But overall, he is phenomenal. I feel like he's a phenomenal unit, and tier 1 is where he's sitting comfortably at, right? Right alongside these units, which is crazy because he was here at the start of the game and he's keeping up with all of these units that came out, which I find to be crazy. But yeah, really good. Twigo, I'm gonna put in tier 2, which is, I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but Twigo at tier 2 makes sense. This is including his holy relic. Yeah, I feel like Twigo at tier 2 is fine because no one's gonna use him without Bond. Like, with Bond, he's at tier 2, but without Bond, he's like tier 5. being realistic, right? Being realistic, but he's good. He's good. There's Elizabeth. I'm gonna put at tier 3 because you can use her in the bird, and that's it. That's legitimately the only reason why she's even on here. But she's at tier 3 for me. Escanor's at tier 5. Not the greatest unit in the world, but definitely not the worst. Far from it. Still a very, very like good unit. I just feel like Green Escanor, a lot of people suck this unit off, and I'm like, why? Like, why? He doesn't do the crazy things that he did when he first came out. Granted, PvE hasn't changed too much, but yeah, he's not that insane anymore, guys. Like, let's be real, he's not that insane, but tier 5, definitely. Jericho, tier 3, which is insane, but I feel like Jericho at tier 3 makes perfect sense for Belmoth. That's it. Fighter Deanne, I'm going to also put at tier 3 for the big bird. Death Pierce is at tier 5, bare minimum, because of his passive on the back. That's it. That's literally it. Nothing else. And then we got Blue King, who is at tier 2 for me. And finally, Halloween Matrona, who is either at tier 2 or at tier 1, being above. I think she's going to be above Ram. Ram is like right. Where is Ram? Is she here? No, she might be here. I think Ram might be here. And then we change this a little bit. Right. I feel like this is right. This feels... No. This feels good. This feels right. Okay, this feels right. No, wait, hold on. Wait. That feels right. That feels right. In a discussion. This is perfect. Okay, so this is my tier 0 through tier 5 tier list. There's a lot of tiers in there, but I wholeheartedly believe, let me know, by the way, if you think I'm missing a few characters. I think besides, like, there was a few SRs, like Gil Thunder, SR Gills, that I thought about putting on here, but at the end of the day, I was like, maybe not. Let me know if you think I'm missing a few units. Don't know if I missed any, but I think this is good. I think this is, in terms of units in the game, like, you look at your box and these are the units that you have worked on. Like, these are the primary units you're using, right? Am I bugging? These are the primary units that you have in your box that you either, 1, use overall in the game, or 2, have built up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. So I feel like this is really good. I feel like this is good. You can even put Escanor above Zeldris. Like, yeah, right there. I feel like this is good. I feel like a lot of people would agree with this being you know, a very good tier list. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You agree, disagree, what units would you place where, etc., etc. Don't write me an essay, because I am not reading it. That's, you know, that's it. I'm not gonna read it. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, and as always, you guys already know, I will see you all next time.